Not a Chiefs episode. I just needed a picture for this. Let's start the show. Welcome everybody to the Overthinking Football Show live. I do this every Monday to Friday, 12:30 in the afternoon, and then also Monday to Wednesday at 8 p.m. You'll find me here, and we'll be speaking about some of the big things in SA football, guys. So yeah, if you do miss out on any of the shows or you want to hear what we've been speaking about in the past. The episodes are available on Facebook and on YouTube. You can watch them all in full. And also, on Facebook and on YouTube, there's other footballing content that you guys will probably like a lot. So, follow me, support me on all of those pages. First time commenting, but I'm a fan. Thank you, Squilly. Bro, I told you to get a slot at Supersport. Eish, man. If Supersport comes knocking, we'll see. But it looks like a Kaizer Chiefs show. Look too. Yeah, how many times can you speak about Sundowns winning? No, anyway, guys. Today's topic, as you can see, we're going to be talking about, tonight's topic, we're going to be talking about fan culture in South Africa. We're going to be talking about us fans and looking at ourselves and speaking about some of the issues, some of the things facing us, some of the perspectives that we have. As we have spoken earlier today, we spoke about social media. So I was very curious to find out how we feel as normal fans, guys. As normal fans, Pitso must provide protection for Sundowns supporters who are not safe anymore. Five, is the sound off? Can you guys hear me? Yeban. I'm seeing Khoza telling me that my mic is off. Okay, I know. No, okay, it's fine, guys. Sundown supporters. No. We need to provide protection for ntseki. That's what we need to provide protection for. Okay, guys, so I'm going to open up. Let's jump straight into it. I just want us to speak about us as fans, man. Are we fair? Are we too much? Senza kakhulu? Thank you so much for the rose. Thank you so much for the rose. The lines are open. Please remember that you have to be following me in order to jump on. You have to join me on TikTok. So the Facebook guys, you have to join me on TikTok, and then we can talk about it. Frank, thank you, Frank. I tried to find you earlier on. So yeah, you need to be following me. Facebook, guys, that's how you join the show. And then once you're on TikTok and you're following, in order to request, there at the bottom of the screen, there's a button there that says multi-guest. Click on that one, send a request, and I'll let you in so that you can participate in these panels that I have running. Okay, Frank, what happened this afternoon, Chief? Okay, Frank.
Sorry, my brother, I was very busy.
Okay, I know stress. I'm going to start off with you, Frank. What are your general thoughts about fan culture in South Africa?
Before I go there, and before I go to fans culture, let me go back to the people you were with during the day.
Very quickly.
On social media is killing players, and to those who are on the right side of social media, they are improving. Bram, there is a clip that I saw last about Ronaldo. Let me go there just a little bit about Ronaldo.
Very quickly.
Social media, when Al Nassr lose, they say Ronaldo and Al Nassr loses. When it wins, they say just Al Nassr wins. Why don't they say Ronaldo and Al Nassr wins? Here comes in Mzansi, especially that idiski what of Junior Khanye and those guys. There is too much criticism of other players and other teams. I don't want to lie. Yeah. They are not on the middle of the players.
Let's go to the topic. Let's go to the topic, Frank. Guys, is my mic now fine?
Let's come to our
the topic for
picking up.
today. What are your general thoughts about fan culture in South Africa?
As for me, I'm a Sundowns fan, but
Mm.
the culture of Chiefs and the hearts of Chiefs fans,
Uh,
that's lint. I don't want to lie.
uh, uh,
Those
uh.
those fans are hard fans. Look for how many years now without a silverware, but they are still stick on their team. I don't know other people they can. I wish all the club supporters can do like Kaizer Chiefs. Yes, it could be awesome. I don't want to lie.
But we're in a. Some people might say we're in an abusive relationship.
Yes, people they've got their own minds of thoughts, so you can't judge the people. People, even me, I can talk what I can talk about Chiefs, but the reality is true. We can't change the reality.
No, thank you, Frank. Let me bring in Khoza. Khoza, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you doing?
I'm good, and you, man? How are you?
No, I'm okay. I'm okay. Let's start this off. What are your general thoughts about fan culture in South Africa?
We have fans, but then the culture is dead. I think we can divide that into two.
Okay.
Yes, there are supporters, but then, there's no longer that thing of, the culture that we know. This is how Pirates, Chiefs, Sundowns fans behave and so forth. And I think that is being killed by the current state of our league. There's so much a fan can do. On top of that, it's expensive. The fan culture is dying because people cannot afford to pack the stadiums. But then when I say that we still have fans, look at what's happening with Kaizer Chiefs. Close to 11 years of drought, but then in the first
8
2-3
years.
weeks, no,
8 years. Khoza.
it feels
I
it
can't let
feels
you
like
do
it's
that.
been going on for close to 10 years now. Yeah. But then what I'm saying is that you look at the drought that's happening, the fans are not happy, but then look at the shirt sales. Look at the derby, look at Chiefs versus Sundowns. Sundowns won the game, but then we know who packed the stadium. The fans are there, but then the culture is dying. There are many factors to that. And I remember last time when we were talking about status, and I said, Bidvest had one of the coolest cultures. You could hear on the radio or on TV when you start hearing drums, trumpets. That Vets is playing on a Friday night. So those things are kind of leaving the fan, like it's dying our fan culture. But then it's not only because the fans are not happy, but then the standard of living here in South Africa, a ticket is expensive. And I forgot who was talking about. One of the supporters said he cannot travel to Loftus because of how expensive it is. So you look at those things. Everybody now is a couch supporter because of it's expensive. You go there, you're gonna watch a draw. It's not even entertaining football. Some of those things they're contributing to killing to the death of South African supporters culture.
Agent 007. I know, man. I know. I missed your team, but this 5 o'clock kickoff it's very awkward. It's very awkward. This 5 o'clock.
If it was social teams, we wouldn't be having this conversation, but it's okay.
But I missed Pirates the other day. Pirates was also playing a very weird. 5 o'clock. Part of the reason why I'm having this convo
Pirates
now.
was playing fishermen, man. But it's okay. It's okay.
So
And
tell
bus
me,
drivers. Yeah.
what, what are your general thoughts around fan culture in South Africa?
Yeah, as always, I like to take the blame, from the top and bring it down, I think the problem is it's very toxic, especially the coaches, and what makes it toxic to coaches is the management, I think I gave an example some time back that ultra fans in Milan and other countries, sometimes after a game they're just given a platform to voice their concerns and their frustrations. When has a big team like Chiefs say, you know what, after this game we lost, to TS Galaxy, we didn't play like a big team. Let's hear our fans, Then you get your frustration. The only form of communication that the management understands is violence. If they're not violent, then they won't hear you. So I think that's where the problem emanates from. That there is like the relationship between me and Ramaphosa. I'm a South African citizen and I stay here, but Ramaphosa stays there, Hyde Park, whatever it is. We don't have that connection, and that's the problem is elitism. Management is there, the fans are there. There's no connection. And even the players themselves, who are supposed to be the bridge, are not. It's not there. I remember some time back, was it 2013? Sir Alex Ferguson brought all players from the dressing room and said, "Go and sign those autographs." Because we need. I can't just go to like how I was saying. Going to masterpieces is very expensive, extremely expensive, and not safe. So imagine me risking my life and money, and only for me to just watch the game. So there must be that connection. And I think another issue is, I know as people we can't think the same, cannot think on the same level and stuff, but I feel like not enough is being invested in fan education. That yes, and fan education comes across what you guys mentioned during the day in terms of pundits. Pundits are also fans. That guys, these players, they might be getting 200,000 whatever per month, but still they're human beings. And Ganda is a good example at Paris, that he was so overwhelmed. These people are people. You can't say let them stay away from social media. They're people. What are they supposed to do in that spare time? So we need to say, fine, there must be criticism, yes, but it should be constructive. And how do you say a constructive criticism?
Yeah.
And I think that others, let me just give others a chance then.
Okay. Zweli, welcome to the show.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Yeah.
What's happening?
I'm good, my guy.
I know I was saying, but still, when I allow you,
Zweli, welcome to the show. How are you doing, my brother?
I'm good, my guy. How are you?
No, I'm okay. Tell me, what are your general thoughts around fan culture in South Africa? Are you still there, Zweli?
I can say because of the connection.
Oh,
Are you
yeah,
hearing
I
me?
see. Yeah, go ahead.
Hello. Yeah. I'm saying because of the teams they don't have a connection with fans. Like if you can check overseas, a lot of teams they have a relationship with the fans. Here in South Africa, we don't have. Like I want to make an example of the what has happened Saturday. Not even Saturday only. In other days, fans of Kaizer Chiefs most they always loyalty to Kaizer Chiefs, and then because of this drought, they always complaining, hey, the team is not doing well. But Kaizer Chiefs, they didn't make a platform for fans so that they can express themselves what their complaints and then everything. So which means there's no connection between fans and teams. Even now, if you could check back then and now, there's a lot of difference now. And then there's also expenses included. There's even if you can check overseas and here, there's no platform for players to go to the fans to sign those autographs and everything. I think there's I'm complaining about the connection between the teams and fans. And then I don't think even that what is that? It's a card for teams. If you
the membership, yeah.
I don't think those cards are existing now. I never hear any person talk about the cards now. So I think the culture has changed now. Even if you want to complain about your team, you must be violent so that you can hear that there's a complaint between you. Yeah. So I think a lot has changed. So there is no connection. The culture has changed. I'm just want to say that I like the way Kaizer Chiefs fans, they are loyal to their team, because it's been long time they didn't celebrate any silverware, but they are still loyal. And then the management, they don't see their fans that it's look like they don't care. So yeah, I can say that, my guy.
Hey guys, whenever you guys say that Chiefs fans are loyal, it sounds like that thing with the eye. Mari uyamthanda, yazi uyamshaya mara, uyamthanda lo muntu. Like it feels like it's a siyabegezela. It feels like that. Let me go to Frank. Frank, let's start with communication. You know, where did we go wrong? Because there was a point where it felt like whatever team you supported, they communicated with you, they heard you, they made sure that you guys, that we all communicated well, there was the closeness to it. And now it just feels like selling merchandise is the only thing they want to do. What happened? Where did we go wrong?
My brother, the way I see now, these teams, now they are not like last. Now they are running business of money. Money. You see, like there is a clip that I saw. It says Kaizer Chiefs is a family business. Like what? You see that thing, it destroys the spirit of fans. So it looks like these people, they are running their business for their pockets. They don't mind about the fans. You see, yeah. So like they must go back to that culture. That culture is still needed, because that culture, it motivates the players, and they look like how the Swallows it was doing before the relegation. Swallows, Chiefs, and Black Aces. You see those teams, ne? It was something else, bruh. But that culture of connecting with the players, that, like my brother was saying, ne? No man, they are running their business for money, not for entertainment and the culture with the fans.
Okay,
That's
okay.
what I say, bro.
Let me bring in Hausa. You know, it felt at some point, I don't know if it's because, Tina, we were watching old PSL and we have fond memories, but it always felt like the teams were closer. But now it feels as though, you know, but in terms of connecting properly with fans, it's just not there. What happened? Where did we go wrong?
You know, we must. This is something that this is faulty with management. You know, because we had the branch and all those things, but then I look at the branches here. You know, it's people connected with those clubs through branches. You know, because we knew that if we are gonna play in Free State, we're gonna get support from this branch, and we have a way of communicating with them. You know, so as things progressed, football started changing, players started leaving, players started speaking out, you know, those kind of things, you know, that started causing a tension between players, club and supporters, you know. When those things started getting intense, if you can remember, in my opinion, I think all of this died down after 2015, you know.
Yeah.
And then you look at things post 2015, you know, they started digitalizing things, but then it didn't make sense why they would do that. And then when you go digital, they're not even on those platforms, you know. So the management is killing the connection, because it's no longer about football, in my opinion. It's about their pockets. It's about what they can get out of football while they still own the clubs.
Yeah.
You know, if it was really about football, 007 said it, you know, the ultras. I like watching those things, you know. They are violent, yes, but then you can feel that, no, these are football ultras. They support their team through and through, you know. And if we had, you know, sometimes it's enough as saying that, no, we are gonna, the thing here, Sundowns, when after a game, They would go and clap hands with their fans, those kind of things. Sundowns is one of those teams that is actively trying. Sundowns is trying, is pushing beyond the boundaries. And I'm not saying Kaizer Chiefs, Pirates, and other clubs don't do it. But then the people who are connecting correctly with their supporters is Sundowns. Because Sundowns has a mission. I'm a Pirates fan, and we only won how many trophies in the last 10 years? 3 but then I will always say that Sundowns is a game Mafikizol. But then Sundowns administration took that to heart and say, since really Mafikizol and we are winning because of people say it's money, what are we gonna do in connecting with our supporters? But then these clubs are relying on organic reach. If you're not winning, organic reach will turn into something that you don't want. So those kind of things, they were losing connection because of the thing I always say, no, historically Pirates is the best, Chiefs is the biggest, those kind of things. We rely too much on history but not on current stuff. If we were to focus on what's happening today and we started interacting with fans with what's happening today, not history. People get angry and end up hitting coaches is because of that. Because we're gonna ask you what's happening. Like, no, Chiefs has been like this since 19 mama. So now you are diverting from the current problem. You don't address things as they are. That's why I feel like most clubs are losing connection with their supporters. And it's not only Chiefs. Look at the Golden Arrows. You listen to the supporters of Golden Arrows. I was in a space called Twitter where they were talking, the fans of Golden Arrows. Those guys were complaining. They are no longer outreaches, some of those things, But it's not only a big club thing, but then a small club thing. We've been there for so long, so it doesn't matter anymore. That's what's killing the connection between supporters and teams.
Agent 007, I remember the one day I went onto campus. I went to university at Tax. I went onto campus the one day to go visit someone. And I'm walking through the student center and I'm like, Daniel Mudau, what's Daniel Mudau doing on campus on a random Tuesday? So I concur with everybody who's saying that Sundowns does this so well. But why don't other teams do things like that so well? And what's killing that connection?
Yeah, Sundowns is really try. Like I said, maybe the inspiration is we are trying to grow from 57 to 60, so maybe that's the inspiration, because they do a lot, like people are saying after the games, the clipping and everything. But even that, as a Sundowns fan, yes, that moment is beautiful, but after that they go, But how about interacting with fans, just giving your autographs and stuff, I feel like even them, they're not doing enough, when you talk of fans, I mean, I would call this really fans, like those were real fans, They had insults on them, but you could feel the love, like when they turned that back on the game at 85th minute, winning, losing, because they had a special connection with the team, And sometimes it's not just about what is it? I feel like, I don't know if it was Howard who said technology killed that, because now everything is digital, you can interact on social media and everything. We don't have that space so you can say, okay, fine, let Aburok Takumalo come and interact with fans. Okay, fine. Like now, she's not doing well, so I don't expect ntseki to go there. But if people see Umtokisi and others there, interacting with them, giving out free T-shirts and stuff, that problem is going to be forgotten. You guys are going to calm the waters. So I think it's the management who are not doing enough, and I think it's also people who are in connection with the management who are doing enough. Like Sundowns, look at what is this boy's name who was playing, this Bushiru boy? I'm forgetting his name, but he recently retired. He's the supporters ambassador. He's the one who released, okay, fine, this is the latest trend, this what, so we need someone like that. When Chiefs are not doing well at sending its communication manager, we're gonna give PR answers, and those PR answers are upsetting.
Sorry for interrupting you, Tiani Mabunda.
Yeah, Tiani Mabunda, yes, Tiani Mabunda, thank you, sir. So there's a difference between Etienne Mabunda, sports ambassador, and a communications manager. Uvina Mapos. Uvina Mapos is hired to do damage control, and fans are into that. And I think once again, when you move away from the management vis-a-vis fans, it's like, what, as fans, like I'm saying, the branches is just a couple of guys meeting up, and chilling, organizing transport. There's nothing special about them because they don't have that connection also with the teams, like back in those days, I knew, okay, fine, if I'm in Pretoria, there's the Pretoria branch, and I know it's verified by the system and Sundowns, so I go there knowing that it's safe. So I think we need to redevelop those things, those structures, regrow them, and yeah, I think it could increase. And we need to invest in fan education, because fan education is very, very important, because also, like, what happened a day for yesterday with Coach Golden Arrows. I had a different perspective of Golden Arrows after that interview, and I like the fact that he came in, he interacted with us fans, and I was like, I know, hey, that 4-0 loss doesn't seem that much now. Like, okay, I understand. And the fact that he's acknowledging that, what, I'm below par here, but I learned something, that makes you think, okay, fine, I can give him slack, but okay, fine, as long as you learn something.
Okay. Zoliwanzi, where did we go wrong with our communication? Why are PSL clubs so bad at communicating with their fans now?
Yeah, my guy, I think there's a lot of statements. I think some days I hear the statement says, you must, no one force you to support the team and everything, family business. Those statements are killing fans' vibe, to be honest. No one, if you support a team and then you choose to support a team and then you hear one of the member in the management team says, if you're complaining about something, says, no one force you to come and support this team. And then you end up break down, and then you killing your vibe go down. So I think those teams, a lot of teams, they are doing that now. They don't care about fans. They don't communicate with fans. It's not on the Kaizer Chiefs. I think I can support the brothers when they are saying Sundowns that they are doing well with connecting with fans. I'm not sure, my guy, if it's because they are doing well in the league. Maybe if other teams, they can do well, maybe they're going to come to the fans and communicate with fans. I'm not sure, maybe it's that story. But I only see Sundowns. Me also, I support that statement if it's only Sundowns. In other, I'm not sure, maybe Pirates, they are connecting, but it's only one team that I see that is connecting with fans. I'm not sure what's happening to the teams there, why they are not communicating with fans. Because there's a branches in each team. There's a fan branches. I think they must do workshop for fans. They must educate fans, so that they can be easy to connect with fans. I think it's that story. Yeah, my guy.
Okay, Frank, I want to now go into the other stuff, the physical stuff, the money stuff, and things like that. Does the PSL as a whole make it easier for fans to be proper fans? So the stadiums, the times, the money considerations, whether how much it costs me to go to this place, how far the other places are, times that matches start, things like that. Is the PSL also making it harder for us as fans to go and be part of our teams and things?
Nothing, Bran. Is for me nothing I can see PSL is doing about this thing. Nothing, total nothing. As for me, I stay in Tembisa. When I want to go to stadium, to use a car now to go to stadium, it's expensive, bruh. It's expensive. Now me, I'm using a motorbike. You see a motorbike? Yes, I use a motorbike just so that I minimize my costs. As for PSL, those ones, I don't think there is anything that are they on their minds to support fans or what? No, nothing. Yeah, that's all, my brother, that I can say, because these things, it hurts, bruh. It hurts. Look, like last on what Motsepe is doing on cave games. You see, it motivates fans to go to the stadiums. That okay, I can go there. There is a cut off of tickets. Then I can just use my expense on traveling to stadium. Yes. If your club is not doing anything about you, never expect a PSO can do anything about it. No way. Yeah, thanks.
Okay. How's that? Hey, tickets are a certain price, travel is a certain price, getting to the place, safety, all of these things that you have to keep in mind when you want to go be a fan for your club. Why isn't the PSL doing more to fix some of those things?
You know, the way I see it, I'm just reading here. There's a thing called sports stadium management.
Yes.
You know, they manage the stadiums for the clubs and all those things. I feel like if the clubs owned 100% of the stadiums, you know, not leasing them out or things like that, I think that they would have taken this serious. You know, but then because of some of the things don't fall into their responsibility, all they have to do is pitch up and play the game and then leave. You know, things like safety, my man, that's something you can't ignore. That's you look at how stores in a mall invest in security, you know, because they know that their customers are gone. If there are no customers, they don't exist. But then because of these teams do not own the stadiums and all that, you look at overseas, Manchester United, you know, Ronaldo was crying about the poor facilities there. And then the supporters now started saying, actually, look at the state of the the men's toilet at gate number so and so and so. They started voicing their opinions, you know. And then this happened after Cristiano left, and then they started questioning this family that owns Man United, the Glazers, yeah. And now they started fixing them. But because in South Africa, if I go to Soweto, what's this, FNB Stadium, and I say, hey, I was robbed in the toilet, they're going to say, go file an affidavit, go doing this, and then contact the company that's in charge of the stadiums. You know, so those things, your sports say, again, your supporters' safety, the prices that don't make sense, you know, because both of you must eat. There's a percentage that goes to the club and another percentage goes to that management. But then if you are not fully invested in that part, you do not care about those things, you know. And then, like, I get it. Europe is a bit tight knit. So I can go from here to here, Katerina, and then that's fine, you know, but that's sorted. But then how do you address in a country like South Africa where the distance is long between where your fan base are and, you know, there are things that you could do, you know, promotions like, let's say, Patco Bus, you know, this is an example. You take Patco Bus, you partnership with one of the teams and you say, you know, guys, during the games, you take our supporters, we chip in this much and they chip in this much, you know. Those are the benefits that come with being a card-carrying member. But then we don't have those anymore, you know. We should start introducing those things. When a supporter knows that I'm going to go to Soweto and I'm going to watch my team play, but then what I know is that my safety is accounted for and my transportation is accounted for. Some of these other things we can work through around them. But then the main thing is getting there, watching the game and going back to where you came from. But then the problem is, you know, when there are too many cooks in the kitchen, the meal is bound to burn. So those are the things that I feel like they contribute a lot to a fan saying, hey, today is the MT8 final and my team is playing, but I'll watch it at home, it's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Agent 007, you know, Loftus when the Bulls is playing versus Loftus when Sundowns is playing, it's like two different worlds in terms of safety, in terms of just the area around, how it's marshaled and things like that. I use that as an example to ask the question, does the PSL make it harder for us to be fans in terms of transport, safety, ticket prices, all of that stuff?
They make it extremely hard. Like you're saying, you can see the difference, between a game day on Springbok, whatever, rugby, and game day Sundowns, The security is all over. You think a president is in the country or something, because that's how tight it is, And it goes back to the point that I wanted to make, that the majority of football fans is mostly, I would say 80-90% black people. And we know black people, amongst black people, most is average and poor. So they don't care. Generally, like I always say, football is a microscopic reflection of society. The elites don't care about the poor guy in Shoshanguve, and the average me in Pretoria, they don't care. But if it's the rich Afrikaner boys, at their games, you'd see that, this is still the white man's land. But anyways, let me go there. The problem again with security is I won't take my niece or anyone's kid to a game. I won't risk that, because a fight can erupt between supporters. And somehow you get involved there, And sometimes I spend 90% of my time standing up on top of a what do you call it? Of the chair, just to watch the game, because everyone is standing up. Why is that? Because the security marshals are meant to protect pitch invaders. They're not meant to protect fans. That's why fights always occur, and someone dies and gets injured, and those people come after some time. The fight is long gone, because they're not meant to protect us. They're meant to protect the players. I always see abroad there will always be those orange guys between like section A, section B, and those people can say, okay, fine, guys, the goal is gone, sit down, so that everyone can see the game. But because the security is not meant for us, is a problem. And also outside the pitch, our cars are not safe. You can't risk going to a car. Like I said, I lost rims and stuff at Loftus. I won't dare go there with the car.
But surely it shouldn't be that hard, because like you say, when the Bulls are playing, the cars go down all the roads, all the way down all the roads, and it's bakkies and expensive cars, and you don't hear about any cars going, any rims going,
Like I said, this is the white man's nation, man. This is what it's called white man privilege. There's nothing you can say about this. And Abuto Khoza is raising something. As someone who is asthmatic, I have to fight to get a visa to go and watch a game, because someone was gonna smoke by force, and that smell does not seem right. But because of the love of the game, I would rather risk my life and watch the game. But they're supposed to be fair, like it's a family event, There's supposed to be smoking sections and non-smoking sections, family sections and stuff. Like the organization, sometimes it's not even about money, it's just organization. Say that part is family event, non-smokers, non-drinkers, like proper organization. And to show you that it's a lack of I don't know what is the word, commitment, not lack of need. Look at what happened during the MTN 8 final. I was so happy about it, because they got into partnership with How Train, like free train, between here and here, and free buses from there to the stadium and back. Like you could see, man, and MTN 8 tickets are expensive. They're more than double a normal game league ticket. And on top of that, you have to spend your money to go to the stadium. So those people are more into getting our money than them reinvesting that money into us. How much does Chiefs make? But at what point do they say, you know what, guys, we make a lot of money from shirt sales, like an ordinary kappa is costing 2,000, ordinary kappa, 2,000. At what point do they say we make money, but let's subsidize our tickets? Not even subsidize, but let's make them normal, you know? Because whenever Chiefs is in town, the tickets go up. And that's something else, you know. And I think we need, like Khoza was saying, we need to get to a point where we say, fine, if I want to go and watch a Sundowns at FNB, you know, Sundowns should have a proper arrangement with like you gave an example, Padkobas, you know, and say we will pay 50% of the total cost. Each fan will pay half the price of from here to the stadium and back. You know, that would encourage us to go to the stadiums. But because you are spending on tickets, transport,
food,
when you go there, you have to eat food, and food is expensive. Like I once ate pap and hard boat for 120. I will never forget. Pap and hard boat, an ordinary pap and hard boat. You know, so you can imagine you wanting to take out your kids, you know, like the reason why some of us love football is there was someone who used to take us to football games, not just to watch it on TV. So yeah.
Okay, look, I'm gonna jump in and just say I think that's why I'm like, you know, I don't know what happened, but I don't remember all these things being problems 15, 20 years ago. I don't remember them being things that you really have to think hard about. And there were things that they were looking out for, you know. I think what has happened is that these clubs have opened up the distance. And when they open up the distance, they don't necessarily care about us anymore. I think they know that gate money doesn't matter. So whether fans come or not, we're going to get our money from TV deals. They don't care about renting out stadiums anymore because now municipalities are out here paying monies. I mean, Royal AM, I believe, signed a 9 million a year deal with the Herikwala Stadium, the municipality of the Herikwala Stadium. And you ask why? What? So now money is in the bank no matter what needs to happen. So I think there's a lot of things that are simple to fix. But yeah, you know, I remember Sundowns was using LC de Villiers at the Tuck Stadium a couple of times. And you would not imagine the amount of security that there was brought there because of that. And I'm thinking, surely you could do that for more games. But yeah, I guess the PSL is trying to cost cut on those type of things. Guys, thank you to the first panel. I'm going to allow another panel in so that we can continue on this conversation that we're having. Oh, what's going on now? There we go.
No, I'm here.
No. I hear you. I've got you, my brother. I've got you.
Yes, I'm here. Yeah.
Let me bring in Kaji. Okay, so Tsepai, welcome. How are you doing, my brother?
I'm all right, my brother. So,
no, I'm okay. Let's continue this conversation. I want to move now into technology. We spoke a little bit about social media, but also how much is having all the games broadcast on TV influencing how fans experience the game and how we interact with the game?
I think there isn't much influence. You know, because if you can check for the past 4 or 5 years, or for the past 6, 7 seasons, it's all been the same, you know. And right now you have to understand that in terms of DSTV policy, they will not improve the technology because of they want people to come and pay DSTV at the end of the day. So there we are screwed already, you know. But my issue is, you know, with Safa.
Okay.
You understand? What has Safa done in the past 10 years to improve the quality of football that we have in South Africa? Safa is receiving a lot of money, more especially from taxpayers, but it's not doing anything. You understand? It's not improving the PSL. And another thing that I wanted to touch before you asked me this question was also our teams. I don't think we have smart management, because of what they could have been doing is because they could offer seasonal tickets, right? They could offer, if you come and buy a football team for Chiefs t-shirt, right? Then they will offer you a discount for a seasonal ticket. That's how you draw supporters to the stadium. And now I'm from Soweto. I don't know if you know, but you remember via buses used to transport people to stadiums. Why can't they do that now?
They even had a train. Didn't we have a train that used to run right next to F&B and then very close to Orlando?
Yes. Why can't they do that now? Why not? The issue is that we have old people there who are just comfortable on what they're getting each and every month. Whatever salary that they're getting, they're fine. They're not trying to. By now, we should be having VAR. I don't think VAR is offensive, my brother. Right now, VAR should be quite reasonable. Understand? But why don't we have VAR on our stadiums? You understand?
Yeah.
So I think that we can get more people coming to the stadiums, right? But we need a smart way of doing it. I don't think people mind spending. I mean, we have load shedding. This would be the right time that people are going and filling up stadiums. You understand? But it's not happening because of our Khoza, our Kaizer. They are comfortable there that they don't even think about these scenarios. You know what? We know that people are in the dark. Let's try and see what can we do to help these people. Understand? No, but I don't think VR is super expensive. VR now, the more something is in demand, it's easy to acquire. It's easy to acquire. Even if we don't use those American VR, we can create something of our own. It's
apparently
within our right.
Apparently, it was just approved now by FIFA. So apparently, last week they approved it.
You see. So it's just that our football is not going anywhere in terms of the management at Safa and PSL. Because of if you can look at some of the stadiums that we play at, they're horrible. And the last gentleman was right. I was watching Kaizer Chiefs probably about 4 or 5 games last year. My brother, you don't know how many times I had to tell a supporter to sit down. We can't see. Imagine you've paid money and a supporter is in front of you and is standing up, and we are thinking, now imagine Khoza about to say it, and that's how you get into fights, right? And the number of security, he's right. It's just there for the players and the technical team and etc. It's not there for the fans.
Let me come back. I'm gonna circle back around. Let me do this. I'm gonna give you guys a chance to just get your general thoughts off first. Then we'll carry on. Malume Kuto, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you doing?
Good morning. How are you, Mr. Oti, in the panel?
I'm okay. Is the router fine now?
It's not. But I can change a chance. Can change.
What are your general thoughts around this topic about fan culture?
I'm listening to the chains and I'm like, I've told you, chains, if you wanna attend stadium, you must have a mean face. So that when someone looks back and thinks of standing up, they can see, hey, there's a serious beating that's coming. They will automatically sit down and reprimand those in front of them to say, hey, I'm Boni, and this guy's gonna kill me behind. But anyway, I think the real point of why people are not attending, and I think we're missing it, is that the football is not enjoyable, Chins. I don't want to lie. If we enjoy football, if it was quality football, for example, okay, there's also an element in this example that I'm going to make. There's also an extra element. When Barcelona visits the stadium, the country, it's packed. Within 10 minutes, you can't get seats. even little now who want to go, we can't get the tickets. And
Yeah.
also, if we ask you by who, that person Odirekang suddenly, why are they buying the tickets? Because they know Messi is gonna deliver. You know he's gonna dance and he's gonna do it, whether it's against these boys Bako MLS, whether it's against Wade Arendse, whether it's against Ramos and Pepe, they'll all be biting each other's heels. He will deliver. And I don't want to mislead society, guys. Guys, I've lived in SA for the longest time. I have never seen a back-to-back full capacity stadium, whether it's for Chiefs or for Pirates. I'm talking about home games specifically. My entire life, I've never seen it. And for now, it will go back to the issue of maybe, just maybe, the people who are interested in football in the country are missing the point of how football should be played. Of how football, what type of football attracts people, what is good football. For example, we have a misunderstanding with the national team coach, Hugo Process, to how should football be played. The players he selects are not the players we look at and think, wow. But if you look at the results book, it seems like Hugo Process knows something that we don't. We never lose at home. I'll keep repeating. I'm so proud that even though people still bash Bafana Bafana, I'm like, maybe we're not watching the real Bafana Bafana, the one that's playing right now. Bafana Bafana, I think ever since he took over, we've never lost at home. We don't lose. And it's because he understands football differently. He can see its talent differently from what we think is tops. He sees it differently. And maybe, just maybe, the rest of the country that doesn't attend PSL games sees also a football differently. So before we fix everything, and I totally agree, the stadium is not a nice place to be. But before we jump into that, just the product. The product might not be as good. And testimony to that, we've had our favorite coaches, both Coach Shakes. They will do all the qualifiers and get beaten like crazy go the actual tournament. Lose game after game, 3-0 changing goalkeepers to a point where we end up celebrating that we've scored one goal. We are Zambia at the World Cup. Or yes, and it's the AFCON. We will celebrate having scored one goal. And you know what? I'll accept that Sundowns is currently playing good football on the continent. But I'll always say, the teams we play against on the continent, those guys hardly ever make their national teams, if ever. Unless if we talk Egypt. And Egypt have since moved from that. They also have Bo Salah, Bo Sharif. Yeah, exactly. Bo Sharif, who was playing for Al Ahly. Get it back now. They put them in, they sub them immediately. The quality of football has moved. Go Egypt. It's no longer home-based as it used to be. Cabo Abu Trika. Now it's top tier. So maybe just our product, just we need to be on, is not attractive. We watched Sundowns versus Arrows. We were all surprised. We see this is not the Arrows we know. We've watched Chiefs versus Arrows. We all said, okay, Ntseki had a plan, but was it attractive? Is it something you'd pay to go and watch your team defend 90 minutes? Is it something that we would do? Definitely not. Pirates won 5-0. We were ranting and raving. The stadium was packed in the next game. But then again, the next week, they were lackluster. Now I'm like, that 100 rand I budgeted for me and my girlfriend, let's just buy something else. The product before everything, just the product.
I'm going to come back because there's something I want to speak about in that line just now. Patrice, welcome to the show. How are you doing? Mr. Fontaine. Okay, we'll come back. Kumba, can you hear me? How are you doing?
Shabalala.
I know, grand. General thoughts, fan culture, South Africa.
Mara guys, you know what? We guys as fans, we are not loyal to our local footballers. I understand that it's frustrating the type of football that some teams play, Like, you don't want to spend money, put your life at risk sometimes, just to go watch mediocre football. But honestly, the sponsors, DSTV, is trying to get people to come to the stadiums, and they're doing the best. I mean, like right now, there's a competition. Like, if you come wearing the best regalia, you stand a chance of winning 100,000 rand. And if you are DSTV supporter, you can get double the amount. So they want us to be there, and they're doing their best. Even with such incentives, we're still here at home watching the game on TV. So all I'm saying, I guess we are frustrated, but also we need to go there and support. And maybe by being there, our football will improve because we're supporting these guys. Because anything, I know, like given the economic situation, most of us can't afford the entire, like, it's not only about buying tickets. It's a lot of things. It's food, it's transport, it's accessibility. It's sometimes the games are playing now at night. They can't afford the hotels. You know, I understand that, but we should all try our best and support our local leagues, because it's the only league we have in SA. And if we don't support it, no one else will. We can't keep supporting these old Bayern Munichs and Barcelonas of the world.
Okay. Tsepai, I'm gonna come back. Let's now speak about the technology aspect. Is social media taking teams away from people? Because now I just have to tweet. Think of Chipa. Chipa was looking for a left back the other day, and instead of having to do the legwork and going to places and finding people, they just put out a post that said, you know what, guys, we want a left back from ages 19 to 28. Come on this date and blah, 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 and do this. And then also the TV, watching things on TV, is it changing our behavior as fans, knowing that I can watch it on TV from all angles. I can do it from the comfort of my own home. How much are those things impacting the fan culture in SA?
Yeah, no, it has a huge impact, because why go to the stadium whereby you know that your team is not even performing, you know? And also the atmosphere. I mean, when you get to the stadium, it's only like 50 of y'all, so you have to sit together just to feel that bit of an atmosphere, you know. In terms of the networking, the scouting, you know, I think that's what's happening with Chiefs. You just go on YouTube and you search who's been playing well, and then that person, you just bring that person here, only to find out that person has 8 goals in 24 matches. You know, we don't have, you know, those. You remember the scout that was scouting for Chiefs back in the day, whereby you really go to the games and watch this kind of a player play, and then that's when you understand, okay, this player can fit in Chiefs. These days we just Google and you search a league, who's the top goal scorer, and then after you go on YouTube just to see two or 3 games, you don't know if maybe that person was playing against kids and scored 10, 15 goals. Once you see that person, you want to take that person. That person can't even trap. Who's that long, tall player that one that couldn't even score that you signed the Chiefs? You can tell by looking at him, you understand? But then again, we also have to blame management. How to use this kind of a player? If you're going to play helicopter football and put him there in the box and lateral the course, it's simple. Understand? It's basic football 101. If you can't expect that person to play on a wing and then to come back and go to the midfield, it's going to get tired easily. But the kind of technology that we have makes it easy for people to watch football at home. Ne? But then again, what's the point of going to the stadium whereby you're going to be arguing with people to sit down, whereby you're worried if your car is safe, you know, whereby when you get to the stadium, you understand that? Like it's a lot of small things that play a huge role. You understand? So I think management in terms of PSL and stuff, they have to do something to to grab those people. It's not like we don't love soccer in this country. We love soccer. And it's not even expensive to go to the stadium. You just have to be honest. It's just that we need security and transportation. That's it.
Okay. Malome Kuto, social media. Here we are, teams. Back in the day, it felt like teams were forced to go out and have to touch us and interact with us in order to get things done. But now they can just tweet something, and they tick their engagement for the month. Please touch on how that has distanced us from fans, from our clubs, but also TV, man. This technology, watching all of the games on TV. Why go to the stadium when it's right here?
Look, I just want to tell everyone, if you think you're experiencing football when you're watching it on TV, trust me, you're not. I last season, I think I attended every home game at Pirates, besides one, and it felt weird watching it on TV. Center line, if you're a Pirates fan, James, center line, come on, grandstand it. Hocha number from start to finish, and 30 minutes after game as well. So the experience is very, very different. So if I feel like anyone who says I'm watching it on TV and therefore I'm enough, that's an excuse. The only excuse I'll accept is if Santo Violin it becomes Hunger Games, and I wouldn't advise one does.
But it's convenient.
And then when it comes,
it's
exactly,
convenient.
If you value girlfriend and children, I would advise you to stay at home. It's dangerous out there. But the other one, I have a different view.
Okay.
I found it beautiful what Chippa did to just tweet, we are looking for a left back. It cut out the middleman. Someone Chippa United, that thing of saying so, it cut that out and allowed players who don't have agents to just rock up and try their luck, to just go to Mashonis and say, Ngimnandi, I just need Ugutumbolege, Itutli Pankibele, I'll be there. It gave a chance to people who would never have a chance. Growing up, sometimes you hear with Bekna Matral Gupagania. 2 weeks later, 2 weeks back, Matral, you like our buffet and sang jelly or newspapers. But now imagine you're just enjoying your king social media. You're watching, overthinking, twinkling on WhatsApp. Someone sends through trials for cheap, but they're looking for a left back. I found it very beautiful. I just thought, if only as many teams. Of course, you risk every Tom, Dick, and Harry coming, you understand? But at least you've broadened the pool and you've cut out the middlemen. You've made it so easy for yourself, and you might even get them on the low to say, okay, now I'm getting equality and I'm just gonna pay
That's why
you understand? So exactly, they knew Baba Tlangmo 5,000 Bamnati, but Baba Tlali exposure, stipend, accommodation. I found it very beautiful. So I feel like even other small teams should try explore that route. Social media, in as much as it does take them away, it brings us so close to getting information. Right now, we chill here, we exchange ideas. Someone who's in the business is getting ideas because his thought patterns is in that direction, and listening to us, we are born, you know what? I can actually use this to my advantage. So in that way, Mina, I found it very beautiful.
And I think the reason why I didn't like it personally was this is a PSL team. You're telling me about Champile, MTC, Bachampa, under 19, 18, 17, 21, 23, Bachampa, locally scouting, and now they get to just do this. You get what I mean? That's why I was like, is social media hurting us in that sense? Because again, for example, Kaizer Chiefs, the marketing manager of Kaizer Chiefs, the marketing manager of whatever team, can now just tick and say, as in, guys, I sent out a tweet yesterday. That's my engagement for the day. Whereas back in the day, I remember when I used to play a complex Kotem. Some days you'd get there and you'd see somebody from Chiefs and you'd be like, "Hi man, what's this person doing here? I don't understand. But now those type of things, they take that away.
And 100% right. One of the first questions that you asked, I support them a lot. You've got MTC, you've got development from under 15 even. How is it that you didn't consult? Well, assuming that they didn't go through those channels. But if they did, and they noticed with Ireland on still, that's good, because then they've managed to avoid bringing bad quality into the PSL. You understand? Or rather, not just from a perspective of saying bad quality, but an unfinished product, a product that still needs polishing. Because sometimes we've seen some players being fast-tracked, and unfortunately, they drown. I remember watching if there's a player I thought would be great, it's two guys. It's Opromise Mkhuma and Unanana. I used to come back from school and watch these boys play that game, future champs. And they would dominate. And they were captains as well. And I thought, okay, now their chances here, their time is now, because they were promoted very early. And unfortunately, they drowned. So maybe also Cheaper might have a couple of players who they've since decided, this boy will drown. Let's just nurture him. Let's just give him time. I assume. I would love to think positively for them. But if they did not even look at their development, or on the other side, if they did not even have equality with development now, it's a problem for the entire country that we have a professional team that can't even produce half potential Nyana to sit on the bench for them.
Okay.
In that regard, I 100% agree.
Let me bring in Charis, are you back? Hey, no, it seems Charis is not here. Let me bring in somebody else just to take the spot. Kumo, is social media and the use of social media and the ease of teams using social media stopping them from actively reaching out and touching fans as they used to, or maybe as we expect? Number one. And then number two, I hear you speaking about DSTV giving away money and all of that, but remember, the main objective is to have us pay the subscription and watch on TV. How did that impact how we experience the game? Like Ukuzo is speaking about the experience of the game. Go Stadium is different to TV, but there's probably a lot of people that never experienced that, don't want to experience that. They just sit down and watch it because it's convenient. How do those things, the technology side, work against us as fans?
First of all, like, you need to remember that the PSL doesn't generate money only on ticket sales. So even having fans watching the soccer at home, it's also helping the PSL teams make money, because the money they get, the revenue they get from advertisement and ratings,
and the rights,
it helps the team. So it's not a bad thing watching TV home. It's just watching the football at home. It's just that it only looks bad when you're watching TV at home and there's so many empty seats. I want to discuss a bit more about social media, and especially what Cheaper did. First of all, Cheaper is a selling club and also a relegation-threatened club. So have you thought about maybe this time around, instead of going through those traditional channels by looking at their developments, NFD and stuff, they couldn't find what they were looking for? Like, I'm going to give an example of something close to me. I've got a nephew. He plays for under 18, under 14, right? He's so good. Like, he should be at Sundowns Development Academy. But the problem with that is that the coaches want to have some brown envelope. So remember what I just said. So now, because of he didn't want to pay the bribe, he's not on the books for Sundowns development team. So so whenever there are trials, like for Cheaper, for instance, he can't go because he doesn't belong to any professional football team. So now when he sees what Cheaper does, said it's open to everyone. Now only then the teams can really see his talent and potential. Not all good players are at these academies and lower leagues.
No, I think my only worry about that thing was that then you should question the current cheaper development. How come you don't have a player that can step in to your left back? What are you doing with those players, and why are those players there? Then you go to MDC. You're telling me that the entire MDC doesn't have a left back in a league that you have a team in that you actively play it. So I think it was worrying from that point of view. And also, as somebody who's ran trials for some teams, the reality is that the teams usually have the people that they want. 3,000 kids show up, only 8 are chosen, and you'll find out that 8 has already interacted with the team already, right? I was just worried that you can't have a PSL team doing that for 19, I believe the age range was 19 to 28. So that means every single avenue that you could have gone down in order to get yourself a left back, regardless of development, regardless of MTC, transfers within the league, all of that, you skipped everything. And over and above that, more than anything, my big issue is now with social media, like I said, when I was playing, Chiefs people used to come randomly, there was no reason for people to be there. But it felt as though the teams were closer to us. They were watching us when we had tournaments. They had people there. We'd see some players sometimes, some of the management all over the country. So are things like the main crux of the question is, are things like social media taking away teams doing that? And then it becomes far easier for the teams to just say, you know what, I haven't gone and acquired 10 fans. I've just tweeted, and that is my king. That is my KPI for the month, if that makes sense.
No, you know what, ne? You forget that social media is also a strong tool that you can interact with fans. As societies...
But do they? That's what the question is, but do they use it for that? Or is it just hit us with information, never interact, never engage? You get what I mean? It can be used as that tool, but it seems as though most of our teams, they don't even have TikTok accounts, most of them, for example. Something stupid. You get what I mean?
Yeah, but I think TikTok is a new thing, and most of the teams that we follow have Instagram, have Twitter, have Facebook, and they are active on those accounts. But back to my point regarding what you said about cheaper and stuff, ne? What we've done is something that is innovative, and as culture we evolve, and we should evolve, ne? Yeah, okay, fine. Granted, it's not what you are used to, where scouts personally come and scout for players. But having tweeted that poster, that doesn't mean they're going to do that from now on. And that doesn't mean they haven't physically scouted Eastern Cape or wherever the situation may go. Maybe they were trying to be innovative by growing their fan base and their brand. By doing that, they reach a far wider audience, even in Africa, whereby maybe they don't have enough funds like Sundowns where they can scout and they can have games, you know what I mean? So we as people, we shouldn't be afraid of change, and we shouldn't be comfortable in what we are used to. You know what I mean?
I'm not really scared about that. I'm just saying that, isn't it scary then that a team that has teams, they have development teams, they have youth teams, they have an MTC team, they have everything. Shouldn't we be a little bit scared in that case that what then are the teams doing if they can't bring the talent from there, from teams that are already running? You get what I mean? Because if it was just a standalone team, I get you. But like Chipa, I think it was Dane Clayt was the coach of the under-17s, I think it was. So they've got all of the structures. But you're telling me they can't find not one team, so then one player. So shouldn't we look at them and say, "Hey, but guys, I get that you're trying innovative stuff, but there's meant to be a 19-year-old left back in your development team that can be called up, and that you have spent money, you've given time, you've given coaching, you've given everything. They spend money on these players, right? So if you can't find it from internally, what exactly is the team that is in the PSL doing with their development, with their second teams, with their string players, with their transfers, if that makes sense? That's where I was coming from.
Yeah, okay. No. It makes sense. It makes sense. But yeah, first of all, we don't know what the real reason was again. Like now, all we're doing here is speculating. You understand?
No,
Yeah,
for sure.
even if they do have those players from those structures, and again, maybe they were trying to get someone different. I mean, like look at I'm just like remember that Nedbank Iona team. Why was that team established? Because not every good player is on the development ranks and those structures in the FNB and the lower leagues. It shows that South Africa is a mad country. It's a soccer crazy mad. I'm losing the words. The words are failing.
No, it's fine.
But you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
We're crazy about soccer in this country, and there are some areas where people don't get chances, but they are talented. That's all I'm saying. But I also get your point.
I hear you.
Get your point.
Let me not stay too long. Fiesta, welcome to the show. Sorry about that. We just went a bit long with that. How are you doing, my brother? Fiesta? Okay.
Sure, my brother. Hold on.
No, Kishapo, my brother. So, with the social media thing, the teams are they're no longer coming to us anymore. Is it just easier to tweet, to put up an Instagram post, and then we say that we've done our job? Reach the fans, and also TV having the game so accessible. Does it impact the fans and our fan culture?
First of all, let me start by Kulebukeka channel ya my brother.
Thank you.
I'm a Chiefs fan, so I don't know, but it's really nyana because this is my first time.
No stress.
I just love football. So, like, I think in terms of the team are rona, hore, ditlemo horona. Okay, let me make an example like Kaizer Chiefs because na ke rata Kaizer Chiefs. So ke goletse go Kaizer Chiefs well. Like from I think from Steve Komphela and stuff so I think Chiefs it loses our ke trust as such because like re supported Chiefs because of re goletse go malapeng a supporting Chiefs. And there's no way re tlo lahla Chiefs because the easy what today. But now challenge eba hore I think management ya rona e relaxes because they know hore bana le the loyal supporters. Like they know history ya bolo Kaizer Chiefs mo South Africa ha se ba hore ke yona the big team in terms of fan base.
Yeah.
So like they relaxed because but like supporters are now modia. The only thing about yetsang they will only come to us when they advertise the keepers bolo or babata something from Rona. But by the time Rona like now Chiefs in Almatat. Rena le di views re di sa kae di views tsa rona. Ha re kgone reach ko bona. So like it's challenging.
Oh, thank you 29,000. Sorry about that. Yes.
But in terms of the TV, like Shabalala bolo kontu, I mean, okay, it's nice sometimes, but how local stadium, my brother? You feel that environment man. Like Rona Pitso go stadium, like you feel environment so like I don't think it affect her whole go Rona. The other thing in the raise was I think last time we wouldn't take a request because topic was interesting in terms of technical team and stuff. Checking Chiefs le Sundowns, my brother. Chiefs is a big team and stuff. Sundowns is a good team kanto engwe le engwe. Ke eng re etsang ho fihla maybe leveling ya Sundowns football ya bona ile go yona. Remember Chiefs e ketetse go dlala neng ko Africa. Last time Kagave.
Mm.
And it was playing better because it was playing with Chimita Conte. Yeah, so yeah, Kiki is that me, brother.
Okay.
I'm new in this game.
Aye.
I'm happy ka platform ya how hot man because re khona ho ntsha di views tsa rona ko nto. I'm just happy.
Relax. All family here. Malume Kutso,
Yeah.
I want to go into the fans now. Let's talk about the fans. Do fans understand the game? You brought up the point of Hugo Bruce and how he's actually doing well, but we don't rate him. You brought up, now I'll give the example of Middendorp, for example, who got us to number 2 and didn't do well and we didn't rate him. Do fans understand the game, and does that play into the fan culture of football?
I just want to welcome Fiesta, and I can see Wuti. He wanted to request so many times, and he just wants to bring all his ideas. Welcome, my brother.
His family.
When it comes to issue of defense, I hope my audible.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Am I audible? Okay, is taking here. But anyway, when it comes to Ama fans and understanding football, I'm one of them. I'm one of them because I'm definitely South African. The players I like don't cut it. They never cut it at the top. And by at the top, I think we've had these conversations called sighting where I'm like, our heroes are not really heroes out there. At the top, I'm talking about EPL level, World Cup level, AFCON level. Our players just don't cut it. Our favorite players just don't cut it. The best generation, Pirates, that we call happy people, were never really selected for Bafana. And when they were eventually selected, like 6 players, we were walloped for AFCON. We were the whipping boys. And here at home, they were doing wonders. But there are players that just don't tickle our fancy, yet they do wonders on the good stage. It shows we just don't get it. And I'll keep saying I'm part of South African population. That's why I believe Openi McCarthy should not be a coach. He should be an admin. He should be leading us. Because I, for one, cannot teach something I've never done.
Yeah.
You understand? Or not even done, or just observed. So, Bo Lucas Khate, Bo Penny McCarthy, Eric Tinkler, Mark Fish, they should be steering our football. And then the local guys, with all due respect, I understand it's not always cut and dry. The guys who played locally can be coaching locally as well because they understand the platform. Coaching for NFT, teaching those, we're trying to promote a football, teaching those NFT how the PSL used to operate so that we upgrade. One understand. Rona, we love Poshibo. You know, if you watch the EPL or La Liga, you will notice all of these Simoniers, all of these Tamayas are done at such a high pace. It's not that Abadiezi. The Vite, Rona, we have player Ishapa Tamayanyan, and he wants to pose after that. Forward and Ushapa Tamaya and what's Amaya immediately. You can see, it's effective. Ushapa Kanaking, the para. They actually do them. But to bring the no look pass. They do it to actually deceive, not to floss. They do it to deceive the opponent, not to disrespect. You understand? So I believe as South Africans, maybe we do have the skills. We just don't have the know-how to apply them.
And
we
then
are
as fans,
so lost in how
fans, is it a
skills should be used. You understand? And it's because, sometimes you copy something, but you don't understand why it was done.
So are you saying that as fans, we want entertainment
we
more
don't
than
understand
the
why it was
results?
done? You see? Okay. Exactly. We want entertainment more than the results in SA. I've watched with Dr. Kumalo, gents. I've watched Bafana old highlights. And if players want to be like Dr. Khumalo, I feel like they don't understand that he wasn't just a fancy player. He was an effective player. Those things that look like gimmicks or something, he was doing them and he was killing people, Katson. He wasn't doing them for show. It might look like it was for show if he's opening his arms, or there's a free kick back by Shapali Eric Tintla where it looks like he's about to pick up the ball with his hands and the other one just kicks it through Doctor's legs and Khoza Steinara. It looks beautiful. It looks like Ntseki Blackberry, but it's actually done from a point of effective. It's not done from a point of entertainment. So we had a lot of boys who wanted to be like Dr. Khumalo, not understanding what, oh, doctor. Guys, if I'm a Pirates fan, but every time I watch old Bafana clips, it's like a Dr. Khumalo highlight reel. He is actually walking the talk. He is doing the most. He is intercepting Amapola Oshapano look pass immediately. Because by impressa. Runa Oshapano look pass look right back. You passing center back. Why? No one is pressed. Like, who are you deceiving? So you're just doing it for vibes. And Rona at Cody support, we like, hey, they shiny passing daughter. Aye, what pass? This guy just passed the center back. As I press you out, what do you mean? We go home, we rent and rave. So what I'm saying is, study for these games, we just don't understand. There's a guy, the two of the most famous guys right now, and no disrespect to them. He'll just be moving his shoulders, not doing anything, just walking here. And I can't keep Motsepe back in the day. Blackberry, just walking across the field. But you can see with Mara Grootman how you want to win the World Cup. It's very entertaining. But can you not try and understand if football at a higher level to say about Tony Kroos? I remember we watched a pastor Tony Kroos and his teammate Ashapa Mato to marvel. Yes, this is so beautiful. You understand? Oshapile with precision, and he is clapping Vinicius Olokor, and when he scores, guys, I want you to understand he's dinking it. He's doing it in style, but it's a goal. We entertain us with goals. South African fans, let's ask for entertainment that has value. Let's not ask for, you can, there's that boyfriend or spinning cars, and then there's that one who takes you overseas, little build-up business, young understand. So Rona, we just want to go and watch spinning cars. We just want to go to Chisanyama and come back with no groceries. That's what we've been given. Young understand. And I'm not insulting the guys, but I feel like we can improve on the quality and we can improve on what we support.
Yeah.
What we support. And man, bo can I keep on man? Kabelo Jamin. Ukabelo Dlamini, guys, is so underrated because that boy was so effective for the Pirates. But we didn't like it.
Yeah.
Every time Dlamini was on the ball, or not necessarily every time, but every game Dlamini would be assisting or creating. Even Lekau final, he would find spaces. But somehow, because of how he moved, because he was not spending too much time on the ball, we just did not appreciate him. You understand? So I'm just saying, can we appreciate the proper quality? I know I went on too long, but can we just, as fans, learn to appreciate the proper quality so that even the players, balling good, do not fall into the trap of saying, Lena, I want the stadium to go crazy when I touch the ball, and then start doing funny things.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll answer you later, Mr. Kumo.
Kumo, I'm going to come to you. Same question. Is it a situation where fans don't understand the game? Because, for example, I'll use Chiefs. I know we use Chiefs a lot, but I'll use Chiefs. Middendorp comes second in the league. We want him out. We want him gone. Atazwani finishes fifth, right, or whatever, and people are saying, no, give him a chance. Tens plays the most beautiful football, but he's usually at the bottom of the log. Do we just watch for entertainment and not necessarily for results?
First of all,
I'm a fan. I don't have a UEFA Pro license for coaching or KF. You understand? Nah?
Yeah.
I don't know video analysts. I don't know kinetics. I'm just a fan. When I watch soccer, I want to watch my team play beautiful football. I want to be entertained. I want my team to win. Né? Tomorrow I can hit Temba Swani and call him Lekau. Tomorrow he's my hero because I'm a fickle fan. You understand?
Yeah.
So like I said earlier, I'm gonna invest in my team financially and emotionally. So if you think I'm talking nonsense, I don't know soccer, it's fine. I'm just a fan who loves football. The other thing that Abutu Kutsu spoke about showboating and stuff. There's a difference between showboating and South African flair, which is also the same thing that the Brazilians have. Funny enough, like I was watching a biography about Pelé, like his whole entire life story, like it was so amazing. I wish you could all see it, right? So, like it was his first World Cup where they were playing against Sweden. Sweden was dominating Europe and the world back then, but the Brazilian team tried to emulate the European style of playing. They couldn't. They failed dismally because it's not them. It's not in their play. So when they did their Jenga, which is similar to South African flair and stuff, it's when they were winning and they were scoring and their football was amazing to watch. And like Abutu Kutu said, they were doing those tricks for purpose, right? But yeah, like we can still play for purpose, but we shouldn't lose that flair. South African flair, that makes it unique. Because equally to the Brazilians, we also have flair. Sometimes I think we are even better. That's what I'm saying.
But it feels as though team ya win. Shouldn't we be happy that the team is winning? Shouldn't we ask questions? Because sometimes it feels as though as fans, as long as it looks beautiful, we are fine. Or whatever, we are just fine. We'll glorify those players. We'll give them the platform and all of that stuff. But then sometimes the guys that are winning, nobody looks at them and says, "Hey guys, that's the no one by winner." They're not doing all of that stuff. How come we don't glorify that?
No, like I told you, as fans we are fickle. You know what I mean? So as long we win, that's the main thing. And obviously, like if you're gonna pay to robotic football and win, eventually this super sport team, football.
I was gonna say, Kevin, yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. Like Jose Mourinho, those people. Man. I'm like, there's a reason why this game is called the beautiful game. Because of players like Diaz from Liverpool, the entertainers. We want to see such things in the game, man. We don't want to watch this robotic type of play. It will get so mundane and boring very easily.
But then you go 8 seasons without a trophy.
I wouldn't know how that feels, but okay, I understand.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm just saying, Yeah.
No, I hear you, my brother. I would Fiesta. Let's talk about this. Do fans understand the game, or must we just accept we want entertainment? The results are not taba. As long as really entertain, they're right.
The painful part like Chiefs equal. It was example like Chiefs because Kefenia Chiefs. Like Chiefs equal Morauka 8 years. And then really come Morauka 8 years. If Chiefs lo like in a kitchen game Rona le cheaper.
Yeah.
But Rekadile Rakenyabu Shabalala. Obviously Shabalala Ramseba Kasamaya. Like last season, like we didn't play well. Rekala gamer Kenya Shabalala. You can see like we are not like I felt like we're not serious enough as Kaizer Chiefs. But Ronaldo really disappointed. Okay, it's fine, Rata Samaya, but Ronaldo more Atlante. maybe ka 15 minutes ya o tatela ha game ilo fela kwa re win game 2-0 not 1-0 because they can equalize after Tamaya they can equalize and then the stadium will like hotel chola. Tamaya is fine, hot man can rather, but not at this time. At this time, like I was checking Hore, like Andy Lejali was actually okay. Let me come to this point. Okay, the Chiefs on a dollar, na little player, most of on a giddy player, I think. Harena player regarding. I mean, he's a leader. He can come. Why is a leader is what? Leader Lailin Chako ko. I mean go teaming. High feet are to feel a leader. It will take a charge. It will take a charge. Go Chiefs in Haranam Tohonang could take a charge. Kimang like Otik and Ergar and Hakena would also lead to Melankuni. If it Melankuna Lisi Coco Conto. Okay, Matt maybe he can be that leader, but he's not. Whereas Asena and Dile Jali, like who was some of the Tensako Sundowns, so Pisako Tuesday, then we'll pit Sundowns Sika, Kasantin never says being a Tokoka, like Pitso Ahly is like Komphela, George Malulek. Olari disabled as well. That was the plan of the game. Because right now Sundowns o ka stop up until you can team ya bona.
Yeah.
So like coach is one of the hot man arena leader. Arena like motivator carrying ntseki ka motrasta as a leader because like on to build a leader utatamela create motho also almost strong to ra kena ka mo groundung like a gone go take a charge. As defense achieves.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, I'll just speak for myself a little bit. For me, maybe it's because maybe my point of view is coming from I am an Arsenal fan. And as an Arsenal fan, we went 9 years without a trophy. 9 years. And throughout those years, you come up with the excuses. No, we still play beautiful football. No, Barcelona is the only team that can play better than us. No, what. But as time goes on, you start going, yes, sis. You start looking at other teams, they're taking trophies. You start looking at our Sundowns. Sundowns is playing beautiful football and winning. You start looking at those type of things. And it changes your perspective a little bit because for me, I think as fans, even as Chiefs fans, if we're being honest to ourselves, and I'm going to speak about Chiefs because it's 8 years.
Yeah.
If we're being honest with ourselves, there's a type of football that has been very successful at Kaizer Chiefs. There's a type of football. And we don't want to admit that type of football isn't necessarily the most beautiful football we've ever seen. So now it almost feels as though we want to do what Sundowns is doing, for example. We want to do what Sundowns is doing. But we have to ask ourselves that is it something we understand? Is it something we know? Is it something that we can implement? We tried CBD, bringing them into the team to try say that this is how CBD played so well at Sundowns. We brought them to Chiefs and we thought, no, they're going to play well. Not thinking about the structure that Sundowns has and the history and the style of play and the philosophy that Sundowns has. So that's why I'm asking a question about not necessarily know the game in terms of are you smart, the patterns of Rulani, inverting, what. Just a simple question of, do we understand that, sometimes you have to win games. Sometimes it's not going to look beautiful. We can't all play beautiful football. But if we stick to something we know and we're good at, maybe we can come back. When I listen to a lot of South African football talk, it feels as though everybody wants to play the same way. We want Sundowns to play the same way as Patrice, to play the same way as Chiefs, to play the same way as Supersport, to play the same way as Richards Bay. Not taking into account the different factors as to why this team is playing this, why this team is playing that, why this team is playing that. And sometimes, like Ukumo said, we are fickle fans. We love what we love, but we don't say that.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you can say that mina bengamthandu Milendo. You know, you can't say that the last time he was here at Chiefs, he didn't do. He was the last coach to take Sundowns to the final day. Sundowns has been winning by more than 10 points every season, right?
Yeah.
But when we talk about him, we talk about him as if he was public enemy number one, right? And then we speak about the people who have come. Abo Komphela, who couldn't win, finally went to some finals. Abo Atazwan, who had a tough time. He broke a lot of records, studied draw, he lost. We speak about them so glowingly because they're doing that football that we want to see, that we love. Instead of just going, "Hi guys, you play beautiful football, but winning, or what are you bringing? What are you going to do? How are we moving forward?" But Malume Kutsu, I'm going to come back to you. Let's talk about, again, we're on the fans. Can you touch on the culture we have when we're speaking to each other? Because when we're on platforms and when we're on Facebook and Twitter and when we're arguing on spaces and stuff like that, can you speak on that culture? How do we get there?
And that one is a complex question. I'm struggling to understand it.
No, I'm just saying.
Rather complex. Culture of football.
Yeah, let's talk about our culture in speaking to each other. What do you think of that?
Young shine. In terms of how we communicate, in terms of
are we a bit too harsh with each other? Do we give each other space to talk, to do all these things? Well, that culture, can you just touch on what you feel about it? Because for me, it feels like everybody's always fighting each other.
All right. No, we've got the best of both worlds, and there was a minute here on the show where I think you experienced the best of both worlds just before Fiesta take over. There was someone who was disgruntled in the comment section, and immediately there was Fiesta. I was like, talk about a contrast in two opinions. You understand? So we do have fans who are extremely interested, and we do have fans who really just don't care. For example, in SA, I feel like passion, in as much as it might look like the passion it's boiling, but the passion has gone down. The fact that at a Soweto derby we can chill together, trust me, that is unheard of. I remember attending my first Soweto derby. It was at the old FNB where there was that separate space that was like more than 6 feet deep between the two fans, and I had the luck and the curse of sitting right by the corner flag where Kapamba Musasa would come and celebrate after scoring a last minute towards the Pirates fans. And what I experienced, I will never forget. I lost respect for adults that day. I was a young fellow, and a 2-liter bottle, scoops are 2 liter, came flying from Kaizer Chiefs supporters. I thought they stood for love and peace. The 2-liter bottle was full of urine. And I asked myself, Krotman le lintite pala, haraba chula rotela scoop, la zoba kwalsela labo. 2 liter, it lets him root and it exploded. And then I found myself chucking objects to the cheap side because I was like, you know what? Next time again, I'm gonna throw missiles, Linda. Now it's on. I'm throwing my vuvuzela. I don't care about this vuvuzela. I want the fruit, man. You understand? So back in the day, trust me, it was wild. It was wild. The game, the dad would play for like 10 minutes. The next after for like 10 minutes, like a 2-minute stoppage because the fans dikwatilo referee or charge us something that we can't see. We're throwing missiles into the pitch. 10 minutes again. Pause. So right now, trust me, it's so nice that after game, you can lose to Chiefs and rather recover and making jokes right. And so next time, cause back in the day when I was still attending, it was rough. It was rough. Right
Even
now,
at
you just have to
home.
go.
Even at home, I used
Right
to
now,
walk around in my Chiefs kit. Afterwards, I used to walk around. When I was little, put it on, walk around, just so that I can.
My mother is a Chiefs fan. My mother is a Chiefs fan, and I remember Katlego Mashego Akora, and I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop myself. I kept saying, "Asinna ki Mashego." I kira ga itola. I had to try and call dad and say, "Kopo wile mama, abatlo mfakira." So it would be tough. It would be tough. But right now, honestly, Ntwana Guy favor Sundowns. I don't know how that happened. And we can just laugh and say, okay, Rilbulele Saling scored. That's the only time I've ever celebrated against Sundowns, by the way. Because of Saling.
Yeah.
Honestly, right now, the culture is so nice. You've got Boselula who are trending and can comment on their things. It's really just a chill vibes. It's just a Sunday.
Yeah, the last part of Money.
I'm coming. Let me go to Kumo. Yeah, just to keep the order. Kumo, tell me about how we communicate as fans. Is it good? Is it what are your thoughts about us fan-to-fan communication?
My bro, I'm a Liverpool and Sundowns supporter. Whenever my team plays badly, one of them, I don't go on social media on Monday. I don't listen to radio. I don't even watch my programs because I don't want to be reminded.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, like Sundowns would tweet something or would say something on Facebook. Fans from the enemy camp, which is Kaizer Chiefs, will comment. I don't know what you guys are doing there. And when you comment, you speak about us, Motsepe having a know-how, money, financial fair play. Those things ramp me up. And I have to disagree with you. I think the passion is there. And I think because of marketing and fan education, we're no longer as violent in the stadiums. We just enjoy the game and realize it's only a game. No, people aren't killing themselves over a Chiefs or Pirates game anymore. Our interaction, it's vile. It's toxic. There's no love lost. And I'm one of them. I won't lie to you. I'm that guy myself. Say something bad about one of my team members. You will know me. I promise you. Yeah. So interaction between rival fans, man. But we love our team.
Yeah.
We love our team.
I hear you. What Fiesta? You were saying?
I was watching the show after Reloser from Sundowns. And then I was watching the show. Actually, like the way you were so pissed off that day. Like Mokeleng thing, I felt like the person I feel like that is why like Kishebile show the whole until faith. Sunday Harfeta who is King.
Okay, TS Galaxy.
TS Galaxy. Like I was so fed up. So in terms of culture, Hotmani, comparing from Komphela to Khanye, I think Chiefs is a staging whereby supporters of Pirates and Delegate. You remember supporters of Pirates like Aboma 2007, na kwe Chiefs win a whole over Chuba the stadium, but Chuba Kaka. I now understand stage in about level so because we are we are at that stage when as well. Okay, it's nice Harry Twaranagamazo after losing and win, but Hotman. You still feel that thing. Like if we are go social media on as well, like people are enjoying how Chiefs issue. I ended up understanding who timid tumor is other teams and Kaizer Chiefs because the whole social media it's like an one after Chiefs issue. Like team Chiefs because like Huso. So like the culture yeah change hot money ke the willing ka tenye jwalo wabo. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think from my side, it's interesting. It's very interesting. I think as somebody who creates content and I put out videos and all of that stuff, hey, some of the comments that I get, I'm just like, oh guys, what's happening here, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes like, hey, you'll see some of the comments and there'll be different ones. There'll be some good, some bad, some whatever. But you'll think to yourself, yo, when who woke up one day, saw the stuff and decided, or I'm going to write some of the most like, I don't know if you guys see it on your side, but sometimes when I'm live here in the comments, you'll see this comment was flagged or review or something was blocked because of community guidelines. And I'm like, guys, you know, we having discussions and stuff. I don't think I'm disrespectful or whatever, but then you'll find like people who are really charged up, they come in and they just say things and whatever, which is great because there's passion. It's great because there's passion. But in terms of us, you know, speaking to each other, talking about things, man. You know, I don't know how many times here, when you say the word Rulani, you know, Sundowns fans become a certain way. When you say, you haven't even said anything, when you speak about certain things about Chiefs, all of a sudden fans, what point you are making, you know? So it's very interesting to watch the way we communicate. But guys, let me look at this time. Malome Kutso, can you give me your closing statements for tonight?
Yeah. Am I audible? Network just went. Komphela, sorry, closing statement. Great. I do see some comments, but the flagged ones on my side, I can't see them. But just to summarize everything that we spoke about, definitely we do miss the point as supporters. And Middendorp and Stuart Parks, Chiefs fans, beautiful football is no longer your style, Chance. Stop it. Stop asking for players to Sading, Lodge. It just doesn't work for you. Remember when Stuart Baxter won the league? He was playing 7, 8 defenders. And I was surprised that Middendorp was being told, you can't win the league at 7. I was like, but these guys are playing Morgan Gold, Shamaite, Tsepo Masilela, Paka, the other one, Katsande, and another semi-defense midfielder, Yale Slunyan. You understand? So I was like, you've been sleeping. You don't know your team. This team is the new super sport. This team is the new Vets, and that's where they belong. Stop thinking about Boscarango Bese. That time has passed, gents. Stop thinking about Bochabu Pule. You are now operating about Day State, Richard Ranji. That's where you are, gents. Leave the beautiful football to us, Orlando Pirates. We will represent you.
Hey.
We are a family. When you must pack the bus against Sundowns, Ronaldo will attack Sundowns on your behalf. But in closing, I just want to say it's a beautiful show. May we keep the interactions respectful. And I would love to see more people. I'm happy Kibona Fiesta, I'm happy Kibona Kumo. I enjoy hearing other people's opinions so that reveal more knowledge on the show. That's in closing for me.
No, thank you very much. Come on, closing statements. Barre, beautiful football is for Pirates, but that's equal up.
You know, people are delusional, man. You know, we are not doctors here, so we can't prescribe medication. But anyway, guys, you know what, man? I'll urge you guys, like, we should go back to stadiums, man. We should stop comparing our league to European leagues, you know what, nah? Because these are our boys. Let's support them financially by going to the stadiums and have...
Hey, what's going on? Ooh, network. Kumo, network's got you there. We'll give him a second. Let me, I would first. I think let me jump to you while Kumo's network is still taking a little bit there. Can you give me a closing statements for tonight?
Godman, I'm happy because show you how. And
Thank
then the
you.
other thing, I'm happy because I wasn't aware where ke Mankumo le Godman o fetsang ho tswa ke defense sa Pirates and Sundowns. I'm happy. I'm happy because in a balance. In a balance. And the way they talk, they are not taking sides. They're just normalizing everything so that they will show him not a hot man. Thank you for part of the show today. Tomorrow will be there. Next time sharp hot man.
No, hi, otle.
Sharp hot man.
I think for me to close the show, I think fans, we're still the same fans from years ago. We're still the same people. It just feels at times, Ingati, there's a distance between us and the teams. There's a distance between what we want and feel and love and enjoy and them. I feel like the teams have gotten a little bit lazy in terms of looking after us fans, speaking to us fans, communicating with us, making sure that we feel like we're part of the family, you know? You can tell every time Mangenzale show, I have a whole bunch of people who are really involved. And you see it in the comments, you see it in the panels, you see it everywhere that we really love this game. But sometimes, you know, the drama, sometimes that feeling of being away from your team overtakes a lot of things. A lot of times when you speak about Kaizer Chiefs, for example, I'm a Chiefs fan, right? When I speak about it, it's a point of complaining because sometimes it feels as though, man, they're not hearing us, they don't care. You know, when you look at the Sundowns, I remember saying the other day that I think we all dislike or hate Sundowns, not because we hate them, but it's because we wish our teams would be structured, would communicate, would take the time, would put down the resources, would put down everything in order to make us happy. You know, in order to make us part of this team, in order to make us, you know, man, to validate the love that I have for my team, yes. And I think that's where things, you know, in terms of us ourselves, I just wish more often than not we could have proper conversations, conversations where we're not going crazy, where I'm not swearing, I'm not doing whatever, where we're talking about the things. You know, I know, like, for example, with us Chiefs fans, we fight each other a lot about everything. Instead of just sitting down sometimes and just going, guys, this is where you are, this is where I am. We both love the team. You know, everything that we're talking about comes from a place of love, that we want this to be better, we want that to be better. But sometimes the way we interact with each other is not very good. I do wish that all I wish is that the PSL, Coach Vilagazi yesterday spoke about how I asked him about players. And he said that the difference between them and new players. And he said that, you know, back then, even before their generation, you know, everything was done out of a place of love, you know. And I think if more of our teams could operate from a place of love, we love our fans. We want to bring them closer. You know what? We know we might take a loss on this particular thing. But you know what? Let's get transport for our fans to be able to come to the stadium. I remember back then, they used to tell you, no, meet at this place, Zofigama 7, and then they're going to take you down there. Don't worry about getting back or whatever. We'll get you back and everything. When you think about everything, because sometimes now it just feels as though the clubs speak to us when it's time for money. They speak to us when it's time to give money. And when you look at what you're getting back, sometimes you sit back as a fan and you think, wow, guys, I'm watching a game. I don't see a team that wants to win or a team that is there for me. Listening to the communications, it doesn't seem like you want to speak to me. It feels like you have to speak to me. When you watch how everything is built, like we spoke about how transport, we spoke about transport to the stadium, safety around stadiums, this, that, and the other. It feels as though sometimes they don't really care about you. As long as you've brought your money, doesn't matter who is whoopee quality on the pitch. It doesn't matter if we make sure that you're safe. It doesn't matter if we've provided an environment where you can bring your kids, you can bring people. It doesn't matter if, we've provided forums where you can speak to us or not speak to us. We haven't given you all those things. But yeah, we still want your money. But yeah, we still want you to buy a tracksuit, a jersey, ikogo, all of that stuff. And it just feels, man, it feels a little disingenuous, man. Like sometimes you want to, when you watch other sports, like I made the example of Loftus when the Bulls are playing versus Loftus when Sundowns is playing, right? Yeah, there's a love that rugby has, and that love goes all the way through rugby, all the way down to Saturday when your son is playing some random under 13 match. There's a love they have, and that love allows them to do things like development properly, to do things like safety properly, to do things like stadium management properly, to do things like fan outreach. They do all those things out of a base of love. And I don't agree with people who say that it's a business or they're treating it like a business. I argue that the best business you could do is to make people, like, can you imagine how incredible it would be if I'm a Chiefs fan and I'm deep into Chiefs and they're reaching out to me and they're making me feel like it. You're going to spend more. You're going to want to do more. Pelatina, back in the day, we used to put aside a whole day for it derby. From 9 o'clock in the morning, Mangbu at 6 to 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock. Yes, Mangfiga Stadium, there's entertainment, there's this, there's that. Nati were all there. There was a feeling of togetherness that now it just feels as though Tina as fans were together. Tina as fans, when you hear about the things we complain about and the things we want, you can tell that it's coming from love. But when you watch how a lot of the teams move, it doesn't feel like they've got the same thing. But anyway, guys, let me read the last of these comments. Then I'm going to call it a night. But league's over. 3 teams are no longer putting us first. Fans asked Chiefs to get a new coach, but they demoted Zwan and promoted Ntseki. We are only important to vote for goal of the month. Ay, Tabo, don't poke me. Pananani, thank you so much for the footballs. Kumo, thank you so much for the footballs. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me, for supporting me. It really does mean a lot to me. If you haven't followed, please follow. If you want to watch any of the previous lives and the things we've spoken about, you can find that on Facebook and on YouTube. Please subscribe on YouTube, follow on Facebook, follow over here. And I do this every Monday to Friday, 12:30 in the afternoon, and then every Monday to Wednesday at 8 p.m. And then on weekends, we do watch along of the big 3. So thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you for the support. Thank you to the panel. Thank you to everybody who's commented. Really does mean a lot to me. You guys don't understand. So thank you so much for your support. I'll see you then tomorrow, 12:30. Thank you to Facebook as well. Colin says, Kaizer Chiefs doesn't have fighting spirit. They don't have passion for soccer, particularly Kaizer Chiefs players. Lack of discipline. Kaizer Chiefs doesn't know how to handle the pressure. They keep losing those vital matches. And that's some of the things that we ask for, you know. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you guys then tomorrow, 12:30 in the afternoon. Join me.